Yes. Just hold on. Hi, guys. I don't hear anybody, though. Is there a moderator? I don't have it. Or just text me. I don't see anybody. Is there a moderator? Can we hop on the phone with somebody? Technical support? Yes. If you want to call, what's his? I don't see any moderator here. I see. I don't know what am I can juggle. What? Hi, guys. I don't know. Am I supposed to be on them? But there's nobody on here.
Where's your phone? Oh.
Here.
Wait, let me, Nicola? Here she is. Here, yes.
Guys, am I getting on this with somebody? Hi, guys. Sorry, we're having technical difficulties, but anyway, so hope everyone's having a nice day. We're just going to do question and answers. So do we want to start? Does somebody want to start asking me questions and then we'll kick it in? Okay. What's the secret to telling a compelling property story? I don't really know what that means. I wanted to know what's the secret to telling a compelling property story? You'd be a little bit more descriptive. what's one mistake agents make when, okay, I guess, what's your take on storytelling when selling a property? So, you know, that's a really hard question to answer. Um, you have a good property, you talk about the history of the property, you talk about the area, you talk about the comps, you talk about why this is the best location. It's like acting. There's no real direct way to answer that question, I guess. But basically, I mean, the house should tell itself if it's a good, if it's a good house to begin with. But you you want to highlight all the benefits and obviously steer away from the negatives on the property. Any other questions? How do you keep buyers engaged when marketing high-end homes online? Well, good photographs obviously are very important. You want to be focusing on the great photographs of the house, on the most important rooms, on the selling points of the property. I would say that you know, social media is really important these days. When it started, I didn't really think it was that important because I was thinking, who's going to buy a house based off of what they see? People usually would just go to the MLS, but today it's all, you know, it's about content. What's the easiest way to get buyers engaged online? Through good videos and good content. I mean, that's how you, and really talking with your audience, really going back and forward and you know, not just basically talking to yourself. You really have to engage with the audience. Do I ever get referrals from Instagram and social media? Yeah, actually, a lot of times people will contact me and they'll say, "Oh, I just saw this great house. Um, you know, tell me about it. My friend is looking for a house," and then we'll start the search. And if that house doesn't work for them per se, you know, I'll find them another house. Uh, what advice would you give to agents that are starting to build their brand and doesn't have that big of a following yet? Well, I would say the first thing you should do when you get your real estate license is you should work for a team. You shouldn't just go straight on your own. So you have synergy and you can work with other people on the team. I think that's the most important thing. And then you develop a brand and then you bring it to your audience. What's a common mistake when marketing listings on social media? I don't think there really is a mistake. There's nothing, what could you do possibly wrong when you're marketing a house? I mean, focus on bad things regarding the property. How do you adjust content for Instagram versus TikTok? It's really this, I do the same thing on Instagram and TikTok. I don't really change. There's really no difference. What's your favorite part of the job and your most challenging part of the job? Well, my favorite part of the job is seeing new houses every day. Obviously, that's the most important. Ever since I was a kid, I've loved real estate. I've loved houses. I've loved architecture, and I love design. Boy, what's the most annoying thing is being a therapist to all of these clients that really think that they know more than you do, and having to, I mean, just every time have a 3-hour call and explaining why you're doing something, which is so simplistic, but you have to keep in mind that the buyer doesn't do this every day. So that's where you have to keep reminding yourself, okay, this is their biggest asset. You have to be patient, but sometimes I do lose it. On my team, I have myself and my assistant, Diana. More questions, anybody? Any plans to get into New York real estate? Well, yes and no. I don't think brokering, but for sure buying real estate there. We've already started doing that. Could I become a broker there? Maybe. We'll see. It's not like I can barely keep up with what I have going on right here. But it's a very interesting market there. And I probably would shadow under somebody first and really get a feeling, and then I would probably do it. I have a client going into foreclosure, not much equity for her kids left, not even enough to buy a home. Would you lower your commission to help her? Well, that's a personal choice. That's a you call. I guess I would first see, is the house saleable, and will it, well, if it's going in foreclosure, does that mean the bank is taking it, or are you selling it for the client? If the bank's taking it, then I don't see how you're going to be getting commission to begin with. But it would be a nice thing to do. You could lower it from 2.5% to 2%. I wouldn't. The markets I like are Los Angeles, New York, and Palm Beach. Well, if there's enough money left, look, you could lower the commission to 2% if that's what you want to do. That would be a nice thing to do. That's really but it's, if I guess, is she asking you to lower the commission, or are you just want to volunteer it? That's just, that's between you and God. I do just residential real estate. I don't do commercial real estate unless it's buying. And mainly because I don't know what I'm doing in terms of, I wouldn't have the slightest idea how to get involved with commercial. Do clients ask me to reduce my commission? Yeah, every day. And I generally just say no. If it's a certain price point, yes, I will reduce the commission. But generally I say to the client, look, you can go find an agent that'll do this for 1% if you want, but you're going to get that kind of service. Any of the really good brokers don't do that. And so I stick to that. And then they don't want to have a shitty broker. So that's generally the way I do it. And in terms of the laws that changed in August, nobody I know yet has implemented that. Everybody has, every client I know, or seller at least, has continued to pay the commissions as the selling agent always has, because they don't want to be the only person in town asking a buyer's agent to pay it. It's just disincentivizes the buyer's agent from bringing the client to the property. I think that when they changed that law, they thought there was going to be a radical change in the industry and this was going to revolutionize things, but nothing changed. More questions, guys? What's the difference between a 1% commission broker? 1% commission broker just slaps it up on the MLS and puts a lockbox on the property. That's what a 1% commission broker would do. Or does the paperwork. There's advertising, social media, and just getting somebody who's a real professional and knows the area and is a really good salesperson. That's the difference. Given the recent challenges in the Los Angeles housing market, such as the impact of wildfires, how do you foresee the market evolving in the next few years? Well, I see the market changing right now completely. Since post-fire, I see tons and tons of people coming into the market. So many people lost their houses. I mean, there's just not enough supply. And so sometimes it takes a pandemic or something like this to spark the market. And I think that's what happened during COVID. And I think that that's what's happening right now. how many of my clients are return clients? I would say that most people don't buy and sell, buy and sell, buy and sell, but there are some. And overall, I would say most are not return clients because people just generally aren't really buying and selling and buying and selling. But the flippers, yeah. Do I work with many developers? Well, I used to, but developers really aren't in this marketplace anymore. There used to be developers. Then the market kind of went sour and there was not enough room for the developers. So those days are kind of gone, but they probably will return. How do I deal with difficult negotiations? I mean, basically, I don't let the client tell me what to do. I'm very firm and very assertive, and I let them know that I know what I'm talking about, and I don't let them walk over me. I think that once you do that, you let them take control, and that's a huge mistake. So I'm straight to the point, brutally honest, and hope to not offend them, but sometimes that happens as well. What do you have for agents advice struggling with clients who have inflated price expectations? Honestly, if you've got a client that has a house that they want to sell and they just have ridiculous expectations, don't even take the listing. It's a waste of your time. Now, if you're trying to get your career started, it might help to take the listing so you can pick up other business off of it. But if you've got an unrealistic seller and they think their house is worth XYZ and you don't think it is, you're just setting yourself up for failure. It's a waste of time. Because of the current fires, I think that there may be some changes to best. I hope they get rid of the ULA tax. I think that that would be great. They've at least gotten rid of the price gouging rule, which was you could only go X amount % over the value of the property. That was so stupid. That just got rid of half of the inventory. So they just repealed that, thank God. But I would love to see property taxes on hold for the people who had the fire, for the victims of the fire. I would love to see the ULA tax gone, especially for those people. What advice do I have for agents struggling with the, yeah, I said that already. Any other questions? Does the current administration have an effect on the market in Southern California? Are people leaving for other countries? The only people I know that are leaving for other countries right now are well, not really leaving countries, but leaving the state per se, are people that are victims of those fires, or people just had enough fires, mudslides, these ridiculous rules that we have in California. But I haven't seen anything yet because of the Trump administration. It's a quiet day, guys. We might have a short session here. What's the biggest red flag in a real estate deal? Well, probably an unrealistic seller. I just won't get involved. It takes up way too much time, and there's no benefit at the end of the day. There's no commission check. You're just dealing with it, and you're going to end up just fighting with a person. Let somebody else take that client. Let them then realize how insane they are, and then come back to that client once they've really gotten things under perspective. Is there a brand that I've been wanting to work with? No, I don't think so, because usually my clients aren't brands. They're just generally just regular buyers and people. Do you ever sell your friends' houses and do you offer them any commission discount? If you do, Yeah, of course I'll sell properties for my friends, and of course I'll give them a break on the commission because they're my friends. Have I ever walked into a home and instantly knew it wouldn't sell? I mean, yeah, multiple times. Um, there's just some homes that are unsaleable for any price. You got a home that's literally sitting next to a building, or you got a home that is, looking into a power line. I mean, you got a home that's like on a busy corner, and there's just sometimes that you just the home is not going to sell. And the only way I'll take those listings is if the seller realizes that too, and they're just willing to put it at a price where it's going to go and fly off the shelves. And my favorite types of homes to sell are historical homes, beautiful old Grand Beverly Hills houses. I love those. Not really so much into the new modern white box or the farmhouse look, which is so popular. It's easier for me to tell a story, yes, probably with an older home, just because I understand it so much better. When you understand what you're talking about, obviously you're going to tell a better story. Any new luxury hotspots to watch? No, it's the usual: Beverly Hills, Bel Air, Holmby Hills, Bird Streets. I was going to say Pacific Palisades, but that's not really applicable anymore. Do I have a minimum price point that I represent? No, not really. I don't. We sell things that are saleable. How do I find a balance between my work and personal life? As of lately, I haven't. It's just been so slammed. I have not had even a moment to myself. And that's, post fires. Well, I think we're going to cut this one early today because we had, less people tuned in and we didn't have our moderator with us. So we got, one more minute, but if anybody wants to ask some last questions. Like similar to what Kelly said, how do you balance personal branding with your real estate work? I guess that's kind of the question I just answered. Do you bring your dog with you to New York? No, my dog is way too big. It's like a horse. All right, guys, it's 11:30. Next one will be more prepared. We'll have a moderator. I really appreciate it. And thank you, guys. And send us questions if you have by email. Thanks.